Well, hello there. Well, the Donald has stirred the pot a bit after it emerged that during his first term in office, he threatened President Putin of Russia that he would bomb the hell out of Moscow if Russia set foot in Ukraine. Although Russia had already done so in 2014 by taking Crimea and parts of eastern Ukraine. And according to GB News, Trump told an election fundraising event in 2024 that, with Putin, I said, if you go into Ukraine, I'm going to bomb the out of Moscow. And he added, I'm telling you, I have no choice. And Putin's reply was to say, I don't believe you, no way. To which Trump just said, way. But Trump didn't restrict himself to Russia. He also threatened China in the same way by telling Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, that if you go into Taiwan, I'm going to bomb the out of Beijing. And one has to wonder if the Russian and Chinese presidents thought he was mad enough to do just that. And if, as Trump claims, Xi Jinping thought there was a 10% chance he would do it, then maybe they thought he was up for it. And also, by now, the intelligence services of all the major military powers around the world will know the truth of how hard Iran was hit by those US massive ordnance penetrator bunker busters. And if Trump is right about the accuracy and the severity of the damage from those conventional weapons, then both China and Russia may be having second thoughts about sort of getting out of their backyard anyway. But that's just a supposition, and we don't know the actual truth of how hard the Iranians were, or the Iranian regime's nuclear weapons program was really hit. Anyway, Richard, what do you make of this?
I don't know, Jeff, to be honest with you. It's a bit of a funny one, really. I mean, it makes you wonder, was Trump under the influence of something? Did he have a few beers before he came up with that? I mean, that is a pretty provocative, if anything. It's too hardline as far as I'm concerned saying that. But then again, he does play a hard game, and sometimes you do need strong men to lay down the law. Now, of course, this was in his first term. And I wonder if he's used such rhetoric since he's come back in, since Ukraine has been invaded, since this terrible skirmish has taken place. That's the way I describe it. What's going on between Ukraine and Russia is absolutely horrific. And I can't quite make sense of it myself on what the real truth of the matter is. But that's another story. That is. No, I don't know. I'm hoping that Trump has tempered himself slightly and calmed himself down in terms of his rhetoric. But then again, maybe that's the rhetoric needed. Very strange. Looking at this, I mean, when I read this initially, my immediate thoughts were, okay, they must have got this wrong. They're just trying to blow something up here from something he said, was it last year at a fundraiser? But at the same time, you have to wonder, is it more relevant now than ever? Because things are not slowing down. Don't forget, after a phone call with Trump the other day, Putin, apparently an unsuccessful phone call with Putin, Putin absolutely sent everything. He sent the kitchen sink against Kiev, whatever you were calling it these days, to be politically correct and get on the right side. Yeah. So how seriously is Putin taking Trump right now? Or is Trump playing a very, very clever game? You don't know with Trump because he does play rather clever games. So, yeah, Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. And also the timing of the bunker busters, who knows, maybe that was to send a message as well as to attack Iran's nuclear weapons program. Might have been saying, look what we can do with just this. So have second thoughts about other plans you might have. But as you say, Russia launched a massive bombing and drone and hypersonic missile attack against Ukraine almost immediately afterwards, and after Trump had talked to Putin. So I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now, and we should be very worried by it, because I think these egos today are bigger than they were back in the day. We've got some big egos going around
Yeah.
trying to run the place, and you sort of say, well, we need a bit more humility and a bit less of all this warmongering and
saber rattling. But this is saber rattling on another level, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to speak to Putin like that, but by prodding China as well at the same time, what's that going to gain? What's he hoping to benefit from that? I don't understand this sort of behavior really from Trump, unless of course he's serious. Unless he was serious, but of course things changed by the time he did get into power. A different game was in play, so I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, I do. I'm just looking at the Jerusalem Post and their report on the damage to all of the Iranian missile launchers and all the rest of it. And it looks from their point of view and from what they're saying, the number of people that were assassinated at the top of the Iranian military, or the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the top-notch people, the number knocked out there, and the number of scientists that are also taken out has put them back quite a long time. And they're talking about, what is it in here? This set back missile production, long-range missiles, elimination of over 30 senior Iranian military commanders, over 50% of launchers and hundreds of ballistic missiles destroyed, 80% of aerial defense arrays were destroyed, over 530 missiles, 1,100 drones were launched at Israel, with 99% of the drones being intercepted. Now, if all that is right, that shows that Israel has put a lot of damage out there and not received much in return. Now, you can take that with a pinch of salt and believe it or not, but that's just what I'm reading from the Jerusalem Post.
So where's Russia's support from Iran that was meant to be there all this time? We were always told we had to be fearful of Russia's support for and China's support for Iran, and yet we're not seeing that manifest. In fact, there has been rhetoric saying quite the opposite, saying that Russia was just not getting involved. So things are not as they seem in the sort of diplomatic world, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, here's a funny one from Groucho Marx. Trump is making us all Trump with fear. Yes. Yes, and this is another one. Big egos and big a-holes. Yeah, there is too much of that. Yeah. Yeah, and here's another one from Bipedal Species. To my knowledge, China has a vast underground military network in Beijing. That it would surprise me to find out if they hadn't, you know what I mean? So showing what a bunker buster can do to a mountain does send a message. It will all depend on the what messages China is getting from Iran about the truth of the hits. Who knows? Who knows whether they know, or if anybody knows, the truth about the hits one way or t'other.
It's going to be a very different missile that would have to hit Beijing, though, wouldn't it, compared to the ones which hit Iran? I mean, you're talking about going deep inside China, really, and how close are the nukes going to be able to get to that position? I mean, they're not going to put their sort of main defensive governmental centers within striking distance of the sea. That's my point here. So it's going to be a very different scenario, and China's defenses are not like Iran's defenses. They're going to be very, very different kettle of fish altogether. And I did watch, again, Dr. David Betts the other day. He was talking about a conflict between Iran and Israel. And he said that Israel can't actually deal with Iran on a one-to-one basis. It'll be, well, I hope I'm quoting him correctly here. But, it's logistically quite difficult for Israel to absolutely, on a ground level anyway, take on Israel. Israel to take on Iran, which I was quite surprised at. It would require a lot of assistance from the United States and the international community. to be able to deal with Iran. That's the long and short of it.
Yeah, the end of the day, I think what we're going to be doing is what we've done what we've seen in the past is a massive strike. Then you have to walk away, and they'll just rebuild. While the Ayatollahs are there, they will just keep rebuilding, and they don't care. They will just keep rebuilding their nuclear weapons program. They've already said that's what they're going to do, and they'll just try and hide it better and hide it deeper. So, yeah, and then in a few years' time, if not beforehand, we'll be in the same position again. But next time we might have, it might be after the next election in America, we might have a completely different setup, and the president says, "No, don't care." Who knows?
Yeah, I also wonder how much support Israel is going to receive from Trump, because we have to remember that probably again when Trump made these comments, the situation wasn't quite the same as it is now with regards to Israel and Iran. Okay, granted there was tension because his speech was post October 7th, 2023, but things had not escalated until this year. And in terms of the hot war between Iran and Israel, so I don't know how much intervention do you think America would give? That's what I want to know, because this does have the potential, even though right now Russia and China are remaining quite silent. If Iran was to fall, all of a sudden they've lost an ally and lost a foothold into the Middle East. So I don't know. At some point, I'd imagine Russia or China will step in.
Yeah, they might do. It's very hard to say. But if Iran falls, then they'll have to think twice about Taiwan and the rest of Ukraine. I'm sure of it, because America will be a lot less. The US military effort will only be be 3 ways instead of 4, because Iran's out. That only leaves North Korea, China, and Russia. So only, I said that as a throwaway line. It's not only. But it takes out a big, unstable power in the Middle East. Huge unstable power. They've been there for destabilizing the whole region forever, and no one wants them to. Even the other Arab states don't want them to. They want stability in their backyard.
Well, yeah, you try going to many Middle Eastern countries right now and supporting Hamas and doing a protest supporting Hamas and Palestine. Try that. Try it in Egypt. It's not going to go down very well, I can assure you. But the thing to remember as well, any of these conflicts is going to start sending refugees or excuses for refugees our way. And one of the things I found quite interesting, I came across, is what Nigel Farage has got to say these days on the small boat situation and immigration, I should say. Not so much the small boats, but immigration period. And this is in the New Statesman. It says, Farage thinks Jenrick will almost certainly end up to the right of him on migration by the next election. Now, that's a scary thought, that the Conservatives are going to be far more right-wing in their views on immigration than Reform are. And it carries on, and this is meant to be quoting Farage here, I suspect he will go further. That's just my instinct for someone who wants to make noise. In fact, the Reform leader thinks he is on the left of the country on this issue. So is this Nigel Farage openly admitting that he is on the left of most people in this country when it comes to immigration, including the Conservative Party?
That's what it sounds like to me. Yep.
How else do you read this? It says, I haven't fought the change itself, provided it comes with integration. I mean, Jeff, I got to say, has somebody got something on Farage? What's this change in rhetoric over the past few years? This is absolutely terrifying. I'm not saying that somebody has got anything on Farage, but when you read this sort of thing, this is meant to be the political party that was going to change everything for us. And yet, all I'm reading about is him capitulating completely. It's almost as if Zia Youssef has got some dodgy photos or something. I'm just talking hypothetically here. Yeah, well, of course I am. It says he insisted tacking to the centre He insisted tacking to the centre in pursuit of power. Still, Farage thinks things have really shifted in the country at large. As he seeks to moderate his image, the country, it seems, is radicalising. So is the Conservative Party. So all of a sudden, the Conservatives are going to start to look like... I got a funny feeling they're going to start to drag Reform voters away. Because if Farage is really turning that left wing, good grief.
Well, it's this. He's always said, hasn't he, that recently, the last couple of years, that he's got to go for the centre ground because that's where all the votes are. And even his former press man, Gawain Toller, said exactly the same thing. That's where the votes are. You don't go scrabbling around in the right-hand pocket for them. You sit where the votes are. And if he thinks that the votes are there and that the Tories are going more right-wing than him, what he's not saying is he's not going left-wing. What he's saying is that Robert Jenrick is going more right-wing. The Tories are going more right-wing. And they may go overtake him and go further to the right. I think he's actually trying to put himself forward as the man in the middle who will save the country. That's my view on it anyway. That sort of interpretation, I don't know.
But what is the middle? The thing is, the Overton window has shifted back to its natural right position, I suppose. Because I can tell you now, a lot of people who are voting Reform now are Labour supporters, traditional Labour supporters, not New Labour, not this woke idiocy, but traditional Labour supporters. So if the Overton window shifted to the right and he's still staying on in the old perceived centre ground, then he is actually going to be technically more on the left, and that's where he's leaving himself. Very, very, very bad idea altogether, I think, because that means he is not going to be covering the centre. He's actually going to be retreading the left, like Boris Johnson's Tory party and Sunak's Tory party and this, I don't know what Labour are. Good grief! They don't even know if they're left wing or right.
No, they don't know.
They haven't got a clue.
No, it's quite funny. But with the shifting of the political ground, we're going to see people. But these politicians, these more major politicians, and the big parties like the Tories and Labour, they do a lot of private internal polling that we never hear about, and that's what frames their sort of views on things. And this is part of the reason why everyone on the all the Ramonas out there are saying we've got to rejoin the EU. Everybody wants to rejoin the EU. Why won't Labour just take us back in? But Labour have done all their internal polling. They've polled people, loads and loads and loads of people. And that's not the message they're getting from the majority of people. They're getting it from a loud minority, but not from the majority. They're not interested. So that's why sometimes they do these things. Has Farage done private polling that suggests that everyone's now to the left of the Tories or something? I don't know. Yeah. Interesting times we live in.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, and someone's just pointed out that Moscow wasn't fazed by Trump's harsh rhetoric. So maybe Putin's got the measure of him. I don't know. It's a difficult one. It would be okay if it was just swords and pikes, but we're dealing with huge buckets of sunshine flying around all over the place potentially, and that's what we don't want. Yeah.
It makes you wonder why he did make those comments, Trump. I mean, come on, as you rightly said, there, buckets of sunshine is what we could end up with. And if you go, what's going to happen if America bombs Moscow? We know how that will play out.
Yeah,
there's only one way that does play out. So why would you even threaten it? Why?
Yeah,
I don't get it. Yeah. Look, I like Trump, and in a lot of ways. Things I don't like about him, but I never thought that he'd move into this sort of scenario. I don't know.
Yeah, and as Richard's Easy Van Life says, as soon as Iran gets the nuclear bomb ready, it will go to Israel. Well, that's the whole point of it. They want to be able to destroy the little Satan and the big Satan of the US. So I've got no hesitate, sort of. I just have no doubt that they will use it almost immediately. They won't allow time to build so that the US can find out where it is and bomb that out. They'll just use it. They'll just use it. Yes, make Britain great again, end all foreign aid. Well, you know something? I would like us to limit foreign aid to setting up water supplies and major medical aid and stuff like and disaster relief, stuff like that. We don't need to be paying for all. Do you remember all those dance classes we were paying for across the world and all that sort of thing? Don't need any of that. Don't need to pay for that. In fact, at one stage, I read, this was a couple of years ago while the Tories were still in office, they were actually going around the world to try and find people to give the money to, because they have to spend it. The money on foreign aid isn't a budget that you can spend. It's a budget you have to spend. So we had, by our own law, we were forced to spend 0.7% of gross national income on foreign aid every year. I think it's now been reduced to 0.5 or 0.3 or something like that, because of the pandemic and various other things. But it's still there. You have to spend that money. Here's the pot. Go and find people to give it to. And that's what they're doing with our money. It's a big rip-off, the whole thing. Anyway, there you go. Yes.
Yeah.
That's known as MAD, mutually assured destruction. Because the whole idea is that no one's going to, if someone starts throwing nuclear bombs around, then we know it's the end of us all. So no one's going to throw the first one. Unless they're a religious fanatic like the Mad Mahdi's, who believe that they need to bring the world to an end somehow or other. Then, yeah. That's the problems we have with things like that. Yes. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Good comment here. Pay your taxes, you racist. Yes, that's how it feels at the moment.
I pay my taxes. Taxman's after me all the time.
Make Babel great again.
Make what?
Babel.
Oh, right. Babel. Someone said in here they think the king's been abducted by aliens and replaced. Yes.
If only.
Here we go. Yeah. Reform UK is 100% liberal. As bad as that?
Jeff, I got to say, my point is always, if an early election was called tomorrow, there would only be Reform to vote for. Okay.
Yeah.
But there isn't going to be an election tomorrow, and that's the difference. So right now, I think we have to start looking at other political parties. We really do. Just start looking at them and supporting. I think Ben Habib's party in particular. I think that's a brilliant idea. I think I think we mentioned before that there's a hand open, I think, from Ben Habib to Nick Tenconi and to all UKIPers to come across. But whatever happens, look, we've got 4 years, but whatever happens, at the end of the day, we need to have a unified right, because it's sickening to see the splintering that's going on. It's not like it's like Reform, I think, is one of the greatest political movements this country's ever had. I really do. The only problem we have is the leadership, those at the top of it. The actual foot soldiers, the people at the bottom, are brilliant. But I'm just seeing so many Tories coming across all the time to Reform, and I'm thinking, well, what's the point in that then? Why don't you just stay in the Tory government? In fact, they're going more right wing than Reform. It's all very odd what's going on, Jeff. Unless, of course, at some point there will be a rebirthed Conservative Party, if such a thing is possible. I don't know.
Well, I sort of get the idea that maybe Nigel Farage, who's just lost another MP, so he's only got 3 left. That's himself, Richard Tice, and Lee Anderson, because he left the other guy.
Sonia as well. Like 4.
Oh, Sonia?
Yeah, it's not Sonia. What's her name? Oh, I can't remember her name. The female Reform MP.
Oh yes, the one that won the by-election. Sorry,
Yes,
I forgot her. Yeah. I
yeah.
know who you mean. Yeah, so they got 4. So they've dropped back by 1 anyway, because allegedly he was involved in some sort of dealings with PPE or something or other during not PPE, the bounce back loans and all that sort of thing. So he's now sitting as an independent. He's actually left Reform UK. He's now sitting as an independent.
That's it. Sarah Putin, isn't
Sarah
it? Not
Putin. Yeah, that's
Sarah
it.
Putin.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
You have to
everyone.
wonder.
I'm full up with cold still. My brain's only half
Yeah.
working. Yeah.
And it'll be we'll just have to wait and see how many, if he uses another one, because a lot of people did say, if he did get MPs, then he'd only lose them over time, because of the way he operates. Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate. We're seeing that more and more. That people who have said in the past that be careful because he will destroy the party like he has destroyed other people's parties. I don't like he destroyed UKIP effectively in many respects, and stuck the knife in the backs of decent people. But I don't know. I don't know. This is what's been said.
To get back to the Trump thing, Tessa Broad says that this was allegedly said in 2024. It is not going to happen yet. It was said in 2024. But I wonder what he's saying now.
Yeah, exactly.
And when he said it in 2024, he was relating what he did during his first term, as far as I can read it. So, yeah.
Yes.
Someone's pointing to the English Constitution Party. That was formed by someone who used to be in the English Democrats. Yeah. Farage for King. Not quite sure about that one.
Do you know what? I would say anybody except King Charles right now, but I'm not so sure about Farage. The people of this country just wouldn't accept that, I don't think. Yeah, it's a very strange situation. As I said, the only political party out there that could possibly take on the Uni Party is a party that seems to be compromised in its own right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very, very disillusioned with it all at the moment. But at the same time, look, we're not telling people not to vote Reform because there's no election. Yeah. It's pointless, But we have to hold our political leaders and political parties to account. Who else is going to do it? Sorry, just something just popped up here, Jeff, in the Daily Mail. Jobless are better off on benefits in Starmer's Britain. People on sickness benefits are set to be paid £2,500 more than those in a minimum wage job. There we go.
There you go. That's another of the big pull factors.
Yeah.
I mean, JB says, I'm gutted. All I want is our country to get its values back. Lost trust in Reform now. Advance UK and paid up. Yeah. I paid me 10 quid as well. So, yeah. It's looking pretty serious. There is a lot of, I will tell you, there is a lot of activity going on in around Advance UK right now. A lot. It's really pushing forward, and the people sort of who are looking in, they're just, whoa, this is moving fast. So I'd get in while you can.
I'm hearing that there are some senior people within Reform who are watching Advance UK as well, and might be looking to jump ship at some point. I don't know. We'll see on that one.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah. Got to say that I like Rupert Lowe as well, but Ben Habib is offering Advance UK, which is not yet a party, and not until they get to 30,000 members. Once they've gone through that, Ben Habib will put 100,000 quid of his own money in and get moving. So, and start a party a proper official party. So, it's up to people to do so if they want. Now, I've got to say thanks to iDoppler for saying great video, gents.
Thank you, iDoppler.
Yeah, and also to Fat Cat, if nukes come, I will shelter behind a wall of cake.
Absolutely.
Right, okay. I'm not sure how long that'll last, but you know. And I Doctor again, thank you. Why don't you two run and make your own party? Oh,
Hang on, no, then. Now, there's an idea. We wouldn't be splitting the vote, Jeff. No.
Between the two of us.
Yes, exactly.
We could split some hairs. We could split some hairs, couldn't we?
Yeah, if you can find any. Yes.
I Doctor again. Let's have a party. That's it. Yeah, let's just have a party. We just have a party.
Okay, so which one are we going to, right? Who's going to be Prime Minister, Jeff or me? In the comment section now, please reply to that. Who do you want as Prime Minister and who do you want as Home Secretary? In the answers in the comments, please. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, dear. There you go.
Hang on. Somebody's just put Jeff. Jeff looks like your Prime Minister. Oh, grief. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Ricky, Idoffer said Ricky. Yeah, thanks, Idoffer. Thank you for that. Absolutely.
I'll have words with you later.
Jeff.
Farage is worrying, says Terry Devine.
Hang on a second. There's one here. A Welshman cannot be PM. Heard of Lloyd George? And I'm not even Welsh. I just got an accent.
Oh no, this is Richard. This is a new rule, specially for you.
Right? Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you. Yes. Come on.
And Terry Devine says Farage is worrying. I give up with him. I'm watching Rupert and Ben. Conservatives could be interesting. As things stand now, UKIP sound the best. Nick hasn't moved. He's constant. I'll give him that. I'll give UKIP that. But it's very difficult to come back from where they are at the moment. And yeah, I think I was in UKIP up until January this year, but because I wanted to sort of free myself a bit and do what I want, I've left the party. But I will say that Nick is, he's straight and he says what he says and what he believes and he goes for it. You sort of take your choice.
You have to admire the man a lot, actually. If you were to say though, just instinctively, who would you have as who's the most sort of prime ministerial sort of air about them? Ben Habib or Nick Tenconi or Nigel Farage? Which one of those three could you imagine at the dispatch box? There's only one. Ben Habib. That's the only one I can envisage.
Ben Habib was on a what do they call it? An X space, one of these spaces. Was it last night? With I think Jim Ferguson was running it, if I remember rightly, and or he was part of it. And Ben, he was just straight on it with everything. The answers just came straight out. They were good answers, solid answers. And if he was at the dispatch box answering questions at PMQs in that manner, he'd win the day every time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my point. At the same time, I think Tommy put on his X feed, on his Twitter feed, X whatever. I think that he put up that if there was an award to go to for Activist of the Year or Best New Activist, or he's not necessarily new actually, it would have to go to Nick Tenconi. And total admiration for the man in what he's doing there. He's doing what needs to be done, I think. You have to confront a situation. You have to highlight it. There's so many brilliant YouTubers out there as well doing this. Charlie Veach, he's actually shining a light. And Billy Moore as well. Brilliant, brilliant. I love Billy Moore as well. Absolutely fantastic human being. When you actually look at the way he sort of goes around and he speaks to people and he can see that some people are in a real hard situation in life, down in what we call down and out. And he's been there himself, he said. And the compassion that man has is amazing. But what these people do is they shine a light on what modern Britain is like today. And I got nothing but admiration for those people. I do recommend you watch Billy Moore. And again, Charlie Veach is doing some incredible stuff, always has done, I've only just gone back to watching him. And
we used to watch him years ago.
Yeah, I know. When he did the Love Police, we watched him.
That's right.
Yeah, that was
Day
brilliant.
State Sniper 01 says, do we all realise that the bombs dropped on Japan are like a spud gun compared with modern nukes? Oh, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know, those things were just firecrackers, just little things that went off. And look at the devastation they caused. We've now got, and that took an aeroplane to carry it over there, and the old propellers, you know, drop it. The modern ones, you know, we've got multiple independent re-entry vehicles in one missile, so that one missile can carry loads of different warheads, all independently targeted, and they just bomb burst out and all the rest of it. And they're very powerful, very accurate. Yeah, it's a completely different kettle of fish. You know, it's nasty. There you go. Anyway, what I thought I'd sort of move on to is this in one out thing from that France wants to, or we want to set up with France. And it transpires that we would send out back to France about 50 a week. But then we'd get 50 people in return. So thousands have come across, we send 50 back. Yeah. And then we get 50 in return. Now I work this out. That's 50 a week. That's 2,600 per year. And we've already had 44,000 since Labour come to power a few days over 1 year ago. So it's just over a year that they've been in power. 44,000 have come across. We would only end up sending back 6% of those. 6%. That's what that would equate to. Now, one of the big critiques of the Rwanda deal was it was only a few hundred a year. This is much larger, over nearly 10 times that amount. But the illegals would now still remain in Europe, wouldn't they? They wouldn't be going off to Africa or where's the other place, that Meloni is trying to send them to.
Oh, Albania. Wasn't it Albania?
Yeah. But no, they'd stay in the European Union. And there's never any chance of them being sent anywhere else. So if you're going to chance your arm on a boat and you know that the worst that can happen to you is you'll go back to France, is that much of a deterrent, really? And it's only a 6% chance. So I do have to wonder what's going on here, because I've always thought, and also those 50 that we are planning on returning, without leaving the European Convention on Human Rights and scrapping the Human Rights Act and putting something better in its place, those 50 will just stay.
Yeah.
We're not going to send them
I think this all comes down to a very simple point. We're talking about, what's his name? Keir Starmer, the man who campaigned for years on open, borderless immigration, open door immigration, open borders, all the rest of it. Freedom of movement, that's the words I'm thinking of in my disheveled state. And so why the hell are we trusting him with immigration? Why are we not surprised if everything just turns into a load of crap, which it is? It's just a load of crap. It's just total gaslighting on the part of Starmer and the rest of them. I mean, and the same for what's that little man who's just come over with ET? What's his name? Macron. Yeah,
Micron.
Yeah, Micron. Anyway, these people are all cut from the same cloth. They all hold very different values to us. They're not interested in stopping boats. This is by design, for goodness sake. And here comes the question. I addressed it last night on a live stream I did with Richard Inman. And it's very simple. Why do they want so many people in this country working here illegally? Why do they want that? For what reason?
What a good question, Richard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the answer to that is obvious to me. Okay? These people who have come here, these Deliveroo, whatever they are, whatever job it is, I don't know if it's Deliveroo, whatever these drivers are doing, these people who are working on the black market and the black economy, they're all dealing in cash, or most of them are dealing in cash. So with cash, then, why do you think all these different facial grooming shops are opening up and down the country in our high streets, and these vape shops? What do you think all that's about? Do you think, there's never anybody in them, yet they seem to be on, have the brightest lights, really nice shop refurbs. So they must have some money coming in from somewhere. I can't think where, though, for the life of me. But anyway, that's totally unrelated, of course, to what I'm talking about. But if the black economy, if you want that shut down, and if you want people to actually, who are living here, functioning within the black economy, to leave, how do you do that, Jeff? Give me a clue there.
I think it has something to do with central bank digital currencies being
yes, that's
foisted
it.
on us, and ID cards.
Yes.
So that if everyone's got an ID card and a central bank digital currency, you can only operate through the government and they can see everything. Now, another point to mention is that some of these delivery drivers in certain companies, they hire the license of someone who's working for the company who's been checked out to be a legitimate worker. So they hire the license from them for a fee and then take all the earnings. Yeah. And some of them don't get paid, actually, because the person they hire the license from doesn't end up paying the fee over to them.
I was watching a video. You've got these, let's say, hotels. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Where certain people are staying. And inside these hotels, food is being delivered, okay?
Yep.
Paid for by you and me, right? Now then, do you know what's happening with that food? It's been prepared in many cases, apparently, allegedly, according to some videos which I've been watching on X. And this footage clearly shows policemen actually saying, "Oh yeah, it appears as if there is a takeaway being operated from within the hotel." So you are paying for the drivers of this food, the food itself, the place where the food is prepared, and that food then is going out and the money coming back in. Where do you think that money's going? Where do you think that money's going?
Yeah. And I wonder how many food inspections there have been there, preparations, and do they wear the correct headgear and all the rest of it, and use the correct properly cleaned utensils and all the rest of it. Do they follow? Would it be good for trading standards and people like that to have a look, and the food standards
they don't exist officially, so how can they? These places are not actually existing. So anything, you could be eating anything, any animal, anything, it doesn't matter. Goodness knows. But my point is, though, if you were told tomorrow all these things could be shut down, all you got to do is accept your digital ID card and your central bank digital currency to replace cash. Cash would be completely phased out instantly. I'm afraid to say a lot of people will run towards that, and I totally get why they would, because it would mean that there would be a reversal. There would be re-migration. What is it? Remigration, I think they're calling it.
Remigration. Yeah.
People will be going. They'll be heading back to their point of origin. In fact, it has also been pushed forward. I can't remember who was pushing forward. It might have been Reform. I'm not sure. But it has been pushed forward to pay people to leave this country. Pay them about 15, 20, 30,000 pounds. And you're thinking, why should we pay them that much? Because they will cost much more than that to keep here. That's why.
Yeah. Doctor, thank you again. I think this is an answer for someone else. Neil Middlebrook, top bin goon number 2. Right. Okay. I can't work that out. I think that's between two people, but
yeah.
Here's the Wayne H says, you remember that boat that got stopped by the French police and slashed and let down?
Oh, yes.
That one boat they stopped was just paid actors. Could well have been. I think it was just for show because Macron was coming across for this state visit, wasn't he? And I think that's
totally.
So
I mean, look at the timing of it. As a musician, I always say timing is everything. The timing of that, my goodness. I mean, we were quite excited. I thought, oh, hang on, they're starting to do the boats. They're starting to do the French are getting serious about this. And all he did then is come here to this country and blame Britain, which he was technically right on many aspects, because the reason that people are traveling through France and camping in Calais and coming across here is because we warmly welcome these people, because these poor refugees leaving war-torn France. I mean, shouldn't he be embarrassed by the thought, but by even claiming that they're refugees, Macron, by saying that these people are refugees? Surely he has to admit what this situation is. And the allure is, free hotel, free food. In fact, the food you're paying to put in could be repurposed and prepared for Deliveroo. Or not necessarily Deliveroo. Sorry, I shouldn't slag off Deliveroo. I'm not picking on Deliveroo. I'm using it as a generic term here. I shouldn't do that. There are many companies and many things which delivery services which
absolutely,
yes, absolutely, yes.
Advance has everyone sweating, says Wayne H. I think
Yes,
they do actually.
yes, they do.
I think they do.
Well, they got 10. I believe they've already got 10,000 members.
Oh, that was a couple of days ago. Yeah.
Goodness knows what they are on now.
I don't know.
I mean,
I was just looking on their website, but because it says here on his website, it says we need you. The first 30,000 members to sign up will receive a discounted rate of £10. Good. That's what I did. Before we formally apply to the Electoral Commission to register as a political party. And we need them fully committed. And when we achieve this, Ben Habib will himself donate £100,000 to Advance UK. And we will apply to the Electoral Commission. Yeah, so by the time
I was a reform supporter, and because you can be a reform supporter, you see, and actually, apparently, I don't know if this is true. You can, because apparently, reform doesn't have members; it has subscribers. I don't know. That's what Ben Habib has mentioned in the past. So in that case, you could be a reform member and join Advance UK. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, then
the way that this is happening is it seems very slow. Reform UK were meant to be turning it into a proper sort of membership-based democratic party. So I haven't seen any news on that or any great this is what we've done to achieve it, other than set up a new limited company and then swap the names of the old limited company with the new limited company the day after they set it up, so that but Reform UK as of now, it's so confusing. They've changed the names again, like they did with the Brexit Party, Reform UK. They don't just set up a new company; they set them one up at the same time and then instantly swap the names through Companies House.
Yeah.
So
my point here, Jeff, though, is the important thing for people to understand is there's a lot of people think, well, that's splitting the vote. Well, it's not actually a political party at the moment. There's no election. But what it will do, if you bolster Advance UK at this stage, what it will do is it will hold Nigel Farage, his feet and reforms to the fire. It will do that. It will mean that they have to be very careful. They can't just get away with, moving further to the left, going lax on immigration, going further to the left than the majority of the British public now, apparently, when it comes to immigration. So, I mean, the only way we can do this is to support Advance UK. Sorry, Hugh, never heard of them, says My Cup to Downcastle. It's a new political party formed by Ben Habib, and it seems to be gaining traction very quickly. There's nothing wrong with, as I said, election tomorrow, I have to vote Reform. That's me, okay? That's what I think. And I'm sure many of you would agree with that, even if you're not fond of Farage, like I'm not, or the leadership of the party. Because here's the fact of the matter. If we have Starmer for another term, Jeff, you and I are first of all shut down. The rest of you commenting on here, you are going to be shut down. We can all start picking our prison cells, and things are not going to be looking good. So that is the priority. Starmer out, but it would be nice if we could get something that we believe in to replace Labour. And right now, I'm sorry, no, Reform does not represent the views of most people. Farage is admitting it. He's telling you that.
Yes. Yeah. Right. According to Stephen Garner, Richard for deportation minister. But it gets worse because Tommy Noble says Jeff for PM, Tommy for Justice Secretary, and Richard for Entertainment Secretary.
Thanks, Tommy. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
We've got some supers here as well, Jeff.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. We're a bit behind. Yeah. Got, Fat Cat again. Thank you very much. If you want to go quick camp out at Fylingdales. Yeah. If you want to, Fylingdales, that's where they got the big radar system for the early warning of ballistic missiles coming over the hills, as it were. And that will be one of the first targets. There are several hundred first targets, as you could imagine, around the country. So yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
And Idopler says, yeah, join all the parties and hedge your bets. You can always say, yeah, I was part of the winning party. Yeah.
As I said, it is possible. I think it would be actually good for a reform if it has got a little bit of competition right now.
Yeah.
I have to say, unfortunately, it has to be said, even by Farage's own admittance now, that the Tories are more on the left, on the right than he is when it comes to.
The trouble is, who's going to trust the Tories? They've said all this stuff before, haven't they? Yes. They've always said this stuff, and they've never delivered. And and they had 14 years to deliver. They could have absolutely got rid of the woke civil service and gutted it and changed it into a functioning national administration. They really could have done. They could have done it, but they didn't. So they just went along with the good old, system that paid them and all the rest of it. They didn't seem too worried about the country, to be honest. Lynn's random stuff says, I believe Ben Habib can get our country back on track. Paid up member here. Yeah, so and then Rhino587 says Rupert Lowe. So yeah, it's
yeah, I mean, the thing is, this thing with Rupert Lowe, because he's set up, it's not a political party again, it's Restore, isn't it? And it's more of a movement. It's a shame it wasn't tagged onto or amalgamated with the Unite the Kingdom movement. That would have been a bit more helpful there, Rupert, but there we go. Because the movement already exists, one functioning, and with a lot of support. But the thing is, you've got all these things moving. Okay, this is the way to look at this, okay? Jeff, really seriously think about this now. You've got the Tories, you've got Reform, you've got UKIP, and you've got Advance UK, and this Restore movement, and the Unite the Kingdom. They're all doing their own little thing. They're all little sprouts at the moment. Now, as time goes on, somebody is going to have to unify the lot and bring them together, and then all bets are off. We need the best of everything. We need the best of Reform. We need the best of Advance UK. We need Nick Tenconi. We really do. We need Rupert Lowe. We need Ben Habib, definitely. Is he the man to unify? Whoever unifies this is the winner, as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter who it is. It really doesn't. As long as it all comes together. Because, look, the left have been so good at unifying in the past. They really have. Okay, it's starting to fracture now a little bit because Corbyn set up his new political party that even ex-Corbynites aren't even interested in joining. Yeah. John McDonnell.
Corbyn no mates.
Yeah.
Corbyn no mates. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Things must be getting to Keir Starmer, because I've just read in the Telegraph that he's hoping to get his premiership back on track with a summer refresh, i.e. a cabinet reshuffle. So there'll be a lot of cabinet squeaky bums out there at the moment, especially I would say
but who are
in next door in number 11. I think she'll be a little bit tender. I wonder if she'll cry again. Is that what we'll see? She'll come blubbing out of number 11 or something. And the plans will begin on Friday. Whoa. Because and the cabinet ministers have been summoned for an away day. That's brilliant, isn't it? So
hopefully it's in Gaza.
To Gaza, yeah. That'd be a good place for them to go.
Yeah.
And the Prime Minister, and it'll be held at an undisclosed London location. The press will be all over the place, won't they? Looking at all the big clubs and hotels. Yes. Oh dear.
But look, I mean, surely Starmer would have looked at the brightest and the best of Labour and said, right, this, and he probably did, actually. He probably did get the best and the brightest of Labour. Yeah, I know, exactly, 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 of his,
that makes you
out of
think,
the
doesn't
MPs
it?
to form a cabinet, and that's the best he could come up with. So from here on, it's downhill.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you as well to Colin, your super chat. Colin Walton, is it? I haven't got my glasses on here. Farage saying all the wrong things for me. Yes, and me and many others. And there's a lot of loyal supporters as well for still in Reform who he is saying the wrong things for. And he's got at some point turn around and say, look, somebody in the party has to say, look, Nigel, you can't keep on like this. It's going to destroy the party. It makes you wonder if he's controlled opposition, but that's going down. Maybe too much of a conspiracy theory for me, but maybe not. I don't know. We definitely need the man to step forward and save this country. That's what we need. Instead of somebody who's trying to be as centrist and as appealing to all people at the same time as he possibly can. I know his argument would be, look, we've got, and it has been, we have got a certain demographic here, and we can't upset them because we've got to bring them with us. And it's like, okay, are they wanting to integrate? Are they going to integrate? Are they really going to come along with us? And if he thinks that's the case, then all right, that's his opinion. I don't share it. And I think most people within said section of society will not be coming along with Nigel Farage for the ride anyway. All the rest of us.
But Starmer's got other problems as well, because these doctors are going on strike again. And that could cancel 200,000 operations or appointments, actually. And that's going to cause a bit of a...
No, not for newcomers. That's fine. They'll still get their private healthcare.
Oh, yeah, of course they will. Yeah, yeah. And do you know what the argument is for that, made for that? Because they might come in and bring some nasty diseases with them. So we have to give them healthcare straight away to make sure that they don't spread. That's the argument they use. We got to look after them first because of reasons like that.
Well, shouldn't they, if that's the case, then shouldn't they immediately be taken somewhere where they cannot spread and put into, I hate to use the word camps because it's a bit vile. We can't use that.
No, they do. They put them in hotels. Nice one.
No. Camps with, to protect them from all the nasty British people, with, high fences, for their own good, sort of like wired fences that prevent the British coming in to keep them all very safe. Shouldn't they be there if they have the potential to be carrying nasty diseases?
Yes, I don't know.
And we've got we've got a few islands off Scotland where that aren't manned, and there's actually why didn't you ring fence London
itself?
No, hey, less of that on the Celtic nations there, lad. You want to just chuck them all in London? Everyone,
well, they do. That's where they all gravitate.
Of course, that's what happens. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yes, I'm not getting this very good today.
That's where they need most of the food delivery drivers in London.
Yes.
Remember that.
Well, there's so much demand.
And the people that deal with illicit substances as well.
Yes.
Yes. And remember do you remember that big thing they did in Westminster, in the Palace of Westminster, when they tested everywhere for now what was it? Cocaine?
White substances, yes.
The white substances, and they found it everywhere. Just found it everywhere. Yeah, that's probably why they need all these people in there, so that they can deliver them their goods.
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
All good fun. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if anything else has suddenly come out of nowhere.
Interesting one here in the Daily Express. Europe to begin stockpiling food and medicine as World War III fears explode. The European Commission laid out a strategy on stockpiling for the first time on Wednesday, emphasizing the need to build up stocks of things like fuel, medicine, and raw materials to protect member states against major shocks. The European Union should start gathering stockpiles of food, water, and other critical supplies amid the threat of conflict, health crisis, and natural disasters. Brussels chiefs have said the European Commission laid out a strategy on stockpiling for the first time. It's just repeating what it's saying that, yeah. I wonder why that is. What's going on here, Jeff? I mean, it did sort of highlight conflict, health crisis, and natural disasters. I mean, yeah, what are they expecting? Another strain of something to come around, or people maybe to start getting very ill after having a certain medical intervention? I mean, we could be looking at Geert van den Bosch's worst nightmare coming true.
One of the most important things is to have enough heat to boil your water with, and so you can make your tea and your coffee and keep yourself warm and all that sort of thing. And what are those things? Those cuppa soups. Do you remember them? Yeah, have some of those as well. And it's things like that. And with the way net zero is going, we're not going to have any of that. That we're going to be on a rolling blackout. So having disaster stuff, if you do have it, make sure you can eat it cold, because that's probably what you'll need when all this goes off, because the power will be the first thing to go. They'll have to divert it all to the hospitals and stuff like that, and you won't have any. You won't be able to wash your clothes, watch TV. Your internet will disappear.
Jeff, there's warm food walking around these hills here. Okay, they're called sheep, right? There they are. That's what you need is sheep. Lots of us, all of us need sheep and cows. They're very good for you, and everything that comes from the sheep and the cow is to be enjoyed.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Will Trump, says Fat Cat, name the Minutemen minute persons?
No,
Trump the Minutemen.
Trump to name back minute persons as Minutemen? Question mark. Oh, I don't know.
They renamed them minute persons, and now we need to make them the Minutemen.
Yes.
Well, there was. I mean, the Minutemen were years ago. Was that during the Revolution? And then there were missiles called Minutemen as well.
Oh yes, I do remember that. Yes, the Minuteman. Yeah.
So maybe it's a reference to both of those. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat now. Yes. Oh, look at this. Never Farage, a 30-year career weasel, says Seamaster, laughing with them in Parliament. Yeah, it's one of those things when, as far as I can see, when you join the club, everything becomes very civilized. You go into the tea room together and you chat about things, and it's all very nice. Actually, when Farage stood up in Parliament today to ask a question, and everyone was barracking him because the previous question had been asked about going after all those people who scammed everybody during the PPE and bounce back loans period. All the people got away with it. And the next person to ask a question was Nigel Farage. So he stood up, and everybody instantly, because he lost his recent MP because of that very thing, or allegations of that very thing. So he took a bit of a thing, but he started talking about Brexit, and I can tell you that the whole place was full of, you lied, you did this, they still haven't got over it. All those MPs in the House of Commons have not got over Brexit. The majority of them. That should worry us all.
They don't believe in democracy. They know that. So a very good comment here. Well, that's a very good. And a splendid name, Griffith ap Llewellyn. Wonderful name. Oh, and he says, I have plenty of sheep than you. And I know what he means by that. And I'm glad that you have plenty of sheep than me. And I hope that I'm assuming you're a farmer there. And we need more farmers. I spoke to a young man who I've mentioned on this show before, Reese, wonderful young lad, and works from a farming family, and a good, decent, wholesome young man he is. And we need more like that. But going back, I've repeated myself so many times on this, Jeff, is your baptism the other day, to see the young men at the Orthodox Church is incredible. Fine, strapping young men with their morals in the right place, with their ethics correct, just looking wholesome. What's wrong with looking wholesome these days? Looking and acting and being wholesome. We've become such a degenerate society. As soon as we became secularist, everything went straight out the window. I'm telling you now, we need to get back to churches. And my recommendation, if you can't find an Orthodox church, obviously you're gonna have to find something else somewhere where the word of God is preached. But if you can, go to an Orthodox. Man, it's a different level altogether. And I'm not going to say, and one denomination is better than the other, because that's quite divisive. But I can tell you, take a look at it. It's worth it. It's not woke either. That's the interesting part. The wokeness is gone. You don't find it in the Orthodox Church.
Right. I'm talking about food getting stocked up. Spam, says Minbarry 001. Give me some spam. Plenty of spam.
Yeah. Who was that? Monty Python, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the good old spam. So I used to love spam when I was younger. I got to say, we can knock spam, but spam, egg, and chips. Come on, that was I grew up on it, but
double spam.
Yeah, with extra spam. You don't find it these days so much in cafes. You used to find it in cafes as well.
And Billy Blog says, inflatable sheep don't make you a farmer.
Ooh. Decorative, you mean? Decorative. Yes.
And then, decorative, yeah. And another one, which is John Johnson, says, sheep in Wales are known as girlfriends.
Oh, dear. Yeah, we go. Yeah. Do you know what we used to say? We used to get this nonsense thrown at us years ago whenever I used to go to England and somebody heard the Merthyr accent and they go, oh, you're a sheep, what? Like, yeah. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. We sh them and you eat them. Yeah. Then you eat them after yeah.
Vitamita Vega Gaming says, is Orthodox Christian in Greek? Well, you can get Greek Orthodox churches and you can get Russian Orthodox churches and various others, but the main one is as far as I'm aware, is the Greek Orthodox Church. But the
Russian Orthodox, Greek Orthodox. You've got the Coptics. You've got Egyptian, Oriental Orthodox. So many different types.
Yeah, Oriental
and
Orthodox.
Many of them. It depends which one you go to. Some of them obviously are going to be in a different language. One of the strange things is though, even if it is in a different language, you're still participating in. You're not going to understand what has been said a lot of the time. Okay, but what you do understand, if you're used to an Orthodox setting, is that what's going on is an act, a ceremonial act, which is very, very powerful and deals with the devil. And that's what I was told as well when I went to your church, Jeff, that somebody came on to me and said, in our church, the one thing the Orthodox does is it deals with the devil and it deals with sin and evil and it looks it straight in the face.
Yeah.
And that's something we're not doing. I don't see, it's like right now you go to many churches and there's these multicolored flags everywhere. And I'm thinking, is this dealing with sin? Is this dealing with the devil? Really? I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be dealing with that. This could be something else. Or if I'm having a woke ideology preached to me from the pulpit or, net zero preached to me from the pulpit. I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to that at all, not for 1 minute. Yeah. And I did see Rosemary just put up spam fritters, and you're absolutely right. Oh, my goodness. Spam fritters. Stop it. I'm back on the carnivore diet, and spam is actually off it because it contains things I can't eat. But there we go.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm just looking at what's trending on Twitter, but there doesn't seem to be anything there. Oh, I get, for some reason, I don't ban people from Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I just don't do it because I like to see both sides. But the number of pro-Pally stuff I get sent or get put up in front of me, and you look at it and you go, lying again, it's just ridiculous. So I might have to start banning people.
No, I like to see all sides. I follow Jeremy Corbyn. I follow him. I want to see what he's got to say. I follow Keir Starmer. You need
a good laugh, don't you? You need a good laugh.
Yeah, I think that's one of the good things about Twitter is its deregulation. It is massively deregulated.
Yeah, but to get sort of what am I doing? To get back on point, really, it's it's really quite nasty how this world is beginning to start fracturing. Everybody. So I remember I was in the military at the time when all the Berlin Wall came down. It all went. We will never ever go to war again. We can all now just have a happy, clappy life. And we've forgotten all those lessons, and we're now back in a situation where we have got cold wars going on in all but name. There's a new Iron Curtain, a new bamboo curtain, and this, that, and the other, and it's really getting quite dangerous out there. And there's not much that the ordinary person can do to influence this. This is the really bad thing. There's nothing much we can do to influence it because we have been frozen out of the whole equation. All we've got is a few people with big egos and power who are doing everything. They've got the power and the money, and it's so worrying. But we just have to do the best we can, and that's why I'm interested in not just new parties or new offerings, but looking at new concepts. And I just look at Advance UK, and it says, we will build a proud, independent and prosperous UK. We stand for nation, freedom, democracy and equality under the law. So, I mean, that's fairly sums it up, doesn't it? Most people, that's what you want, unless you want to destroy the UK. And if you want to destroy the UK, I want nothing to do with you. So yeah, but one of
the things, ladies and gentlemen, we decided we'd chat for a little bit longer today, because a lot of you have said, why can't you make it longer? Why not? We'll just have a chat for a little bit longer today.
Yeah.
And it's nice to read the comments and this community that has been built up on this channel. To be honest with you, Jeff, there's some lovely people on here. There's some haters on here, but that's fine. We love you even more.
But no, it says here, Lord Viking has said the Jeff Party. Right, yes.
Don't give him ideas, please. I just want to work out what that would look like, because I know him and I've got a funny feeling how that would pan out.
It's actually quite funny, but to start and run a political party, a serious one, takes oodles of money. You've got to be a multimillionaire to even think about it. And in America, you've got to be a billionaire to think about it. And that's one of the things that sort of people will say, oh, we need a president in the UK. We don't need a king and all this sort of thing. And I say, well, okay, because everybody thinks that kings are going to be are more expensive than presidents. Presidents still have palaces. Presidents still have staff. They still have a getaway retreat. Just look at America and the places they got access for them there. And they have all the trappings and the Air Force One and all the rest of it. And there's a Marine One and Air Force Two. Well, so they have it all as well.
The trouble is, we've got this particularly not very good royal family here at the moment in the UK. As I said, I prefer the idea of an absolute monarchy over democracy. If you've got a true Christian king who's going to sort this land out and has the best interest of his people at heart, or her people at heart, king or queen, whatever, then I'm all up for that. I can't see any issues there. But when you've got what we've got, I mean, new borders between our countries. you just come back and forth and make sure you bring Camilla something nice to eat and bring it back to the palace. I'm starving. I'm starting to my sausage fingers before now.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good question. Were you both Matlows? I was. He wasn't.
What's a Matlow?
A French word for sailor.
Oh, right. Well, no, you were. Yeah.
I was a Matlow, as sort of generally defined. Yes. Yeah. So I do come out with some stuff now and again.
You're a submariner.
Someone up here says, I've never had spam. It looks revolting for me.
Don't be put off by the looks of it. Honestly, you
Now,
fry that stuff or
Richard,
grill it.
what
Oh
I
my
want you to
days.
do,
Have it with egg
Richard,
and chips. Just try it. Come on. Jeff, we've got to do some product placement in here, mate. We're going to have to get a tin of Spam, and I think they sell it on Amazon. Should we do that? Ladies and gentlemen, in our next live stream, we are going to be promoting a tin of Spam, okay? That's going to happen. We're going to get a tin of Spam. If you can get it on Amazon, there'll be a code, and you can help fund the Jeff Taylor channel by buying your Spam with a discount code.
I've just looked this up for everyone. The AI overview of what Spam stands for says the name Spam for the canned meat product is widely believed to be a portmanteau of spiced ham, while other interpretations exist, such as specially processed American meat, which could be just about anything.
Well,
yes. Yeah.
Oh,
so there you go.
How did we get onto Spam?
Don't know.
Good stuff. All right. Then once we're at it, free Bentos pies. Come on now, then. Now you're talking.
Oh yeah. As long as you remember to crack the tin open first.
Yes. That's a good point.
Take the lid off.
Yes. Yeah, you've got to do that.
Take the lid off. It gets a bit messy.
We have that with chips, I suppose, and that's a decent meal for any family.
No, just for me, just one.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember when I lived. I grew up. There was a period of my life which was very, very hard when I lived with my parents, and my father was very ill in hospital. My mum was staying in hospital with him, and there was no food in the house. And I was 19 years of age, and the only thing I could find there was a tin of 4 or 5 tins of Frey Bentos steak and kidney pies. Only trouble is they had gone out of date 6 years prior. But
that's all right.
I was hungry, and they were all right. I lived. Good. I survived. I'm not recommending anyone does that, by the way.
No,
maybe I'm just an exception.
Dangerous.
It was an interesting experience.
Yeah. Nowadays they put a use-by date on them because they know when they're going to go off somehow. Cunning Stunt says, he is here. I think they're referring to that sudden appearance of King Charles III on our channel just a minute ago. Yes.
Here's
a good point. I forgot. I was going to mention this.
Oh,
it's me.
Yes.
That.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben Habib signed the pledge. I was there when he did so. Yeah. So
was more than that.
That was all about.
It's actually shown that the pledge has done a wonderful job there. Actually, it's because it has influenced, because all the policies and the processes of the put forward by Advance UK align perfectly with the pledge. So it means that, and I'm pretty, from what I can gather, I may be wrong, but from what I can gather from people I've spoken to, the pledge was definitely instrumental in the formation of these policies. If that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing. And if that's the case, and it does show that the pledge has most certainly got some value there.
That is exactly what has happened, actually. Yeah, it had. Ben Habib signed the pledge. He said I shouldn't have to, but I do have to because of where we've got to as a country. And he's a man of his word. And when the policies were formed, it was within that sort of overall framework. So yeah, that's what I've been told anyway, and I believe it.
Griffith Ap Llewellyn here. I venture down the mountain in my tractor. So you are clearly a farmer there, Griffith. And contemplating my village demographic has now changed. And just thinking, I think it went back to what it once was: people passing the time of day and speaking the language of Cymru. Welsh. Yeah, absolutely. I went to on a few occasions recently. I have gone to supermarkets, and I have occasionally heard, like probably about 5 times since I've lived in this area, unfortunately, Welsh being spoken, and it was so lovely to hear. I don't speak it, to my shame. To my shame, I do not speak the language. But I went to Carnarvon for my 50th 2 years ago, and we were staying there, and everybody spoke Welsh, and it was incredible. I felt I felt embarrassed that I didn't. Living in Wales and not speaking what is, I believe, the oldest spoken language in Europe. Yeah, sorry.
Right. And Fat Cat, thank you very much. He says, stock your nuke bunker with 6 months of Pringles. The trouble is that when you open one of those Pringles things and you say, I'll only have half a dozen, you end up eating half a dozen tubes.
Yeah, they're designed that way. They're designed to be the most incredibly addictive. Food today is designed to be addictive and bad for us. I mean, one prime example of what can happen when you just eat a standard diet. I eat uncontrollably unless I'm on the carnivore. As soon as I hit carnivore, my weight plateaus. It stops gaining weight. As soon as I go lion, the weight goes down. I lose 3 stone in 2 months on the lion diet, and yet straight off the lion diet, 6 months later, I've gained 4 stone. There's a lesson there, ladies and gentlemen.
So what Richard has to do, he has to go out every morning and hunt for zebras out on the hills of Wales. It's a lion diet. Yeah.
How do I put up with him? If you haven't heard of the lion diet, the lion diet is like the carnivore diet. It's like the carnivore diet, the lion diet is, but it's just basically meat, salt, and water, and it's got to be cow or sheep and salt and water, and there you go. Get on with it. It works. It's great.
Yeah.
Jeff.
And Franco Carrieri says, Pringles no, cheesy Wotsits.
Oh, now you're talking, lad. Ooh.
Yeah. And Phil Drury says, I'll take haggis over Spam.
Yeah. Fat Cat says, nice pub with a dodgy name in Carnarvon. I know the pub you're on about as well. And I went there with my wife, actually. And we had we had a beer there, I think. And that was it's a great pub, by the way. I can't actually say what it is because somebody might get offended by it, even though it's like, what? Yeah. It's just
never eat zebras. Yeah.
Well, zebras, they're like horses, aren't they? I've eaten horse in France, it's...
Well, some people have eaten horse in this country when it was imported from France, and we didn't know it.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
And I know there's many people out here who are vegans on this channel, and we love you all as well. Yeah, don't whatever your diet is, come on, we're coming together as a united people, and that's what we need to do. And I think that's the importance of us doing these live streams, Jeff, to be honest with you. I think, we do enjoy doing them and we get to have a long old chat. But do you know what? People are so disjointed and broken up now. Within the movement, I've seen fracturing as well. When I said the movement, the movement of the uniting the kingdom, and people want to come together. They can't afford to go to the pub half the time. They might have kids. They might be too ill, whatever. This is what we decided we're going to try and do is just try and build a place where you can all. We're going to be on here a lot more doing these lives. We decided just so that people can have a chat and hear their own thoughts in some respects, given back to them, validated, because you're not alone in what you think and feel. There's a lot of people out there. And that's why I love reading these comments here, even the bad ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And Fat Cat's come back and said, awesome pub. Yeah.
Oh, it is. I'll give you the first word of it. Black. Okay, black. That's the first name part of the pub. If we're on about the same pub, we might be on about a different one. I don't know, but yeah. So
what's this? Let's have a look at this. What's this about Elon Musk and his new political party?
Oh, the American Party. Yeah. Didn't he just come out as well and say that Steve Bannon's on the Epstein list? I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I mean, that's. But the thing is about this Epstein list, okay? Does that mean he was involved in X, Y, and Z? It doesn't necessarily. It's not instantly incriminating, even though a lot of the people on there I know somebody who was on the Epstein list, incidentally. That's another conversation for another day that we will not be having. Yeah. But anyway,
not me.
No, not him. No, but my point here is that not everybody, and the person who I'm thinking of is probably almost certainly did. Yeah. But what I'm talking about here is not everybody is associated, because this guy was clearly a procurer of, or an enticer, we'll say, probably trying to compromised people in their lives and their lifestyles. Whether he succeeded with everybody is another matter entirely. And what the purpose behind it was. Some people say he was linked to a certain governmental organization from a different country, which I will not name. I don't know. But that is, I mean, what is Musk doing? I mean, he's going right up for Trump, against Trump and all those people associated with him. And I'm wondering what I'm worried about with Elon Musk, to be honest with you, is that this isn't just a fad of his. If he's going to be serious about changing America, he better be bloody serious, because otherwise, what is he trying to break the Republican Party up so the Democrats can come back in? You know, Musk, have a good think about what you're doing. Really, really. It's like he got involved with British politics slightly. You know, with talking about, you know, with Farage and initially, and then supporting X, Y, and Z. And I do believe he did help Tommy, which is wonderful. But at the same time, I'm wondering, is this just a passing phase? You know, it's just like, oh yeah, a very rich man with very deep pockets who can sort of stir things about a little bit, but not follow up on. If he's going to start another party, like a really good one that has good values, then yeah, interesting, very interesting.
Well, it's quite interesting to read that Donald Trump called his new political party ridiculous, and he said that I think it's ridiculous to start a third party. It's always been a two-party system, and I think starting a third party just adds to the confusion. Now, I have to think about that one for a minute. Because Musk actually called the Republican Democrats and the Democratic parties a uniparty. So that word is now filtering across to America, where it's been used quite extensively here for a while to refer to the establishment. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And
well, there was talk about him, Elon Musk putting some weight possibly behind Ben Habib. I did hear that. Whether there's any truth in that or not, I do not know.
So many rumors flying. So many rumors flying. We don't know. But according to Bitcoin.com, Elon Musk's America Party will embrace Bitcoin and prioritize the Epstein list. That's what it says. So, yeah, hard to know. Just thought I'd have a quick look at that.
Is that the most important thing in American politics right now? That's my question. The Epstein. It is important, by the way, and that needs to be released. I don't know why Trump isn't. Well, maybe we do know why. You know, maybe he is linked with it, on it, but does that necessarily mean he was involved in heinous crimes? Not necessarily whatsoever. We don't know, because we know Epstein was there to entice people, but he wasn't successful. In fact, I do believe Trump may have been one of the people who reported Epstein as well. I do recall Trump saying something to that effect some years ago. I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. But these are dangerous times, because, look, we've got... I don't think he can stand for president, can he? He's Canadian, isn't he? So he couldn't stand himself.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what his actual... Yeah. Fat Cat's come back again and said North Wales is world class for holiday touring.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah. I went. Yeah, as I said,
I used to do family camping trips there quite frequently.
Yeah, North Wales is brilliant. You've got Snowdonia, or the Erin. Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Sorry, I'm too ill today. National Park, which was formerly known as Snowdon. You've got Early. Oh, somebody, can you put in the comments there, Fat Cat, or Griffith, because I'm out of it tonight. Yeah, you got Anglesey, Llanddwyn. What the most beautiful place on earth? Google Llanddwyn, and good luck with that one if you're English, because you won't be able to spell it. Yeah.
No. It's like that. It's like the Landfair Pidgey, isn't it? With all.
There we go. See, there you go. Like the unfair Pidgey. These English, I don't know. What are we going to do with you? How do I put up with him? Yes. Oh, at least we haven't got somewhere called... There's one place down by Somerset. I think it's on the way to Somerset. When I used to go down to Glastonbury. It was called King Sedgemoor's Drains. I mean, come on. Come on.
Very, very technical, yes.
Yeah. And I once did a gig in a place called Bearsted in Kent. Yeah, Bearsted, Kent. Yeah. you got to be careful saying that after a few beers.
Somewhat. Phil Drury has said that this list doesn't mean anything. The Epstein list doesn't mean anything, and was allegedly released unredacted in 2015. The useful evidence has probably been destroyed, and what's left is probably not even worth a. So, yeah.
I don't trust any. Look, to be honest, I just don't trust it. There are very few people I trust in this world. Jeff's one of them. Am I pointing the right way? Is that Jeff that way, or is he that way?
Yeah, yeah.
I got this wrong. My wife gave me a row. She said you were pointing the wrong way at Jeff the other night. I was like, okay, sorry, darling.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh, someone said, "What is this? A sensational list title to the video?" Well,
no.
All I was saying was what Trump was saying last year, and
was alleged to have said before. Yeah.
We've now moved on from that. So
yes, well, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be, having a chat for a bit longer, because I think this is what people like. They like community, and I like community. I like this community. Sometimes I feel it's like, we could be gone a bit longer there, Jeff. We can chat with these people. These are
probably
friends.
I get hungry.
You are friends.
I get hungry.
Family. Yes. Are you getting hungry now? Are you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Had lunch ages ago.
Oh.
So I'm still reading through some of the comments to see if there's some. Was Abraham Lincoln? Did he have a third party? He did. That's news to me. I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, someone's saying that Elon's a Freemason. I don't know if that's true either. But yeah, I mean, American politics could. I've always been amazed that in this country we still have, you have the Tories. You go around on a general election, you have the Tories, the Greens. They're all putting up posters, Labour, Lib Dems, and everyone else. But in America, it's a competition between the Republicans and the Democratic Party, and it's always just a two-way fight, isn't it? See who can put the most posters up on one street, and they're just absolutely flooded with these things. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. There's another one here, by the way, from Fat Cat, not the one you put up. The village from the prisoner is in North Wales. That's right, Port Myrian, and that's the place that Jeff has been wanting to go for years. And as his best, one of his best mates, I'm going to have to go with him. We're going to have to, Jeff, we have to do that. We're going to have to book into Port Myrian for a week, I think, once we can afford it. Right now, we can't afford anything, but one day when the money is available, we'll go there, Jeff, and we'll have a few beers, and
we'll hunt down the big
white with a big white balloon. I'll chase after you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll film that.
Yeah, Fat Cat does say Trump Musk fallout is horrible, sad, and depressing. Yes, it is a bit. Anthony White says that China is a paper tiger. They will never attack Taiwan. It's all talk. Yeah, but all their talk also includes building those huge, great big troop carriers, landing craft, and stuff like that to go with it. So if it is all talk, they're spending a lot of money on it, and they're also building huge, great big forts, new islands in the, in what they call, was it South China Sea or whatever. And they're building these huge, great big cities on water, troops and all the rest of it, big fortifications. So they're spending a lot of money on if it is all just talk, but I don't know.
Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, please press like on the on this video. Press the like button. If you're not subscribed, come on, what are you doing? Please subscribe. We love you when you subscribe. It makes Jeff go all rosy colored and glowing, and he sees it. He smiles. He can't stop smiling. The rest of the time he wilts like a flower at night time. That is not. Yes, with the curtain shut. Yes, subscribe. So click the subscribe button and then the all option. Yeah, Griffith Llewellyn, thank you very much for being here tonight, sir. All the best, you both. I have to go. God bless you. You have a lovely evening there. And likes and subscribe everyone to this channel. And if you can become a member, we are behind a little bit on our members' videos at the moment, but we are trying to put things out. I have not been well, and it's knocked us back a little bit as well. So but do that. And also, something you haven't done in ages there, Jeff. You can buy a mug. Down in the description box below, you can buy a mug with Jeff's face on it. Imagine how happy that will make you feel. You wake up in the morning, there he is, big cheesy grin. You can and hello there. Oh, come on. You know you want.
I gotta say, I forgot all about this, but back in the day, I used to say to people, buy a mug with my mug on it. And it seemed to work. But
go on, take a look. There's other merch there as well. And to be honest, it's not very cheap, to be honest. I'm afraid. And we don't get much from it whatsoever. It's just that these things are bloody highly priced. We might have to look at a different merch provider in the future. I don't know. It's not something we really think about. But yeah, buy a mug if you want to.
Yeah. Yes. As someone has said here, Jeff Redcliffe has said, Musk can start a party, but he could not be president, which as we were saying earlier, so it depends where he was born. We don't have that sort of problem in Britain, do we? You can come from anywhere and be prime minister. And the other thing is you can't be king or queen. Yeah.
Well, don't get me started on that one.
Yes, I know. It's South Africa. There you go.
Yeah, South Africa. That's right.
Oh, there is a lot going on in South Africa, and they're trying to pretend it's not happening. The woke left do not want to believe what's going on down there. Don't want anyone finding out because it upsets their entire narrative. But there you go. Yes. Yeah. Anyway. I've got to put this one up.
That's it. That's it. I'm not going to pronounce it because my jaw's a bit hurting a little bit at the moment. But, or maybe I'll have a go. Hang on.
That's got him stumped. Is that the longest place name in the world, or just in Britain?
I think it is. Actually, I'm not going to do it right now because I got too much. My chest is too bad. So yeah, but fair play. We should be proud of it. I've been there actually. It's on Anglesey.
Oh, was I? No, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's on Anglesey. I'm sure I was there. Yes, I did drive past it, and I was like, oh, I took a photo. Yeah.
And thank you, Interestingness, for your super sticker. And Catalina Carvajal as well. Thank you very much.
Carvajal, yeah, or Jal, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, look, the FBI allowed piles of hard drives to disappear. Yes,
well,
yes, that's the story. Yeah.
I mean, how connected was this man, though? For goodness' sake, you got photos of him, and was it him or was it Kevin Spacey and no, I think it was too. It was Jeffrey Epstein in was it in Balmoral? Was it? I can't remember. I know. Ghislaine Maxwell was definitely there, but but then you hear about Mr. Savile and some sort of alleged procurements he did for a member of the royal family. Yeah, who's no longer with us.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
Not a very nice person either. Many people found him funny, though, and loved him. I'll never forget, Jeff, that episode with Louis Theroux when he was interviewing Jimmy Savile, and he did say something along the lines of, oh, when it comes to Her Majesty, oh, my lips are sealed,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a strange thing to say, Mr. Savile. Maybe that's why he, in his lifetime, didn't face all the charges that he could have. I don't know. That's just paranoid.
Yeah. Spring Fauna says, I love hanging out with you guys. Thank you very much. And we love hanging out with you.
We love hanging out with you guys as well. It's Jeff and I, we think, what we're going to do the rest of the night. No, Jeff, we finished the live stream and sit down and watch rubbish on telly. You're like, Well, why don't we talk to our community? We'll spend time
Why
with
don't
them.
we watch ourselves playing rubbish? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of listening to other people talk rubbish on the telly, why don't we talk rubbish on the telly?
Absolutely. Yes. And Adrian Frick says China is building more boats and subs than you can imagine. It is. Yes, it is. And that should worry us all. It should really worry us all. But there you go. Oh, look. Spring Fauna's come back and says, I need a Jeff cup. Well done.
Go for it.
Yes, and someone, Wayne H, says, has Richard been on something tonight? And I can tell you it wasn't spam. It wasn't that dangerous spam he's been on. I can tell you that.
I've been on something tonight. No, I'm just ill. I'm just ill. And yeah, I think it does. I think it might be a touch of the old COVID. I might have. You're allowed to say that these days, by the way, Jeff. Yes, I might have a touch of that. Yes, we won't get instantly hurled in front of the beak for that these days. We had to be so careful years ago. We wanted to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, about that. Quite interesting. I spoke the other day to Mr. Andrew Bridgen, and I did say that I was going to use an image and talk about something that he'd been sent a photo of by John O'Looney, the embalmer, I believe. The embalmer, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
It's of this, because it's like, imagine this, ladies and gentlemen. What if I was to tell you that there were octopuses growing inside people, and these octopuses were killing people? You'd laugh, wouldn't you? You would absolutely laugh. Say, Richard, you really are on something, as whatchamacallit just said there. Can you please shut up and go away? And I just want to listen to Jeff talk about Brexit and what Jeff likes to talk about. Well, here's the fact of the matter. Embalmers have been pulling these long calamari kind of things out of people's arteries and veins, and these are like hard rubbery things. Almost, you look at it and you think, good grief, I've seen things like that served up in restaurants, in Japanese restaurants, but these were pulled out. Yeah, I have eaten things that look like that, and these things were being pulled out of people. I think, what's going on? But apparently, I spoke to Andrew about this, and he did say that this is only in people who had certain medical interventions, and this is a new phenomenon. Could be what's behind the excess people leaving us. Which is a very sad situation that is continuing to go on. We forget about the hero who is Andrew Bridgen, to be honest with you. How much we owe that man, because he stopped because of him, thanks to him, young children in this country under the age of 6, I believe it was, could not have the medical intervention. And he might have just saved an entire generation from that, because we are now starting to see the repercussions of that. And we're seeing cancer rates skyrocketing, and we're seeing, young people that going before their time. And it's still happening, and it's awful. It's awful, awful, awful. So, we shouldn't forget Mr. Andrew Bridgen. God bless him. Yeah.
The original OSOC says, Richard, I recommend quercetin and zinc supplements. They will stop or minimize viral infections. My personal experience over the last 5 years. That's what I was told by someone else. And what surprised me was that quercetin can be found in capers.
Oh.
You go and buy a jar of capers and it's full of quercetin. And zinc supplements you can get from just about any chemist. And they're meant to be. And the combination, I'm not a doctor, don't believe me, this is just what I've read, is meant to be quite effective against certain things. So there you go. Yes. Is this what we're talking about?
A few people saying that they haven't, in different languages, saying that they didn't take the injection. Neither did Jeff or myself. We did not.
We are pure bloods. We're pure bloods, as they say.
Yeah.
Oh, look, here you go. Pure bloods sound off. Well, there you go. We're sounding off.
Unfortunately,
he says he's a good man, and I'm assuming you're talking about Andrew Bridgen there. Great guy. Yeah.
He is a hero in this country. There are a few. I mean, we often talk about Ben Habib, and we often talk about Rupert Lowe, but we don't talk about Andrew in the same light as much. I don't understand why we don't. Maybe we should do a bit more, Jeff. I know he's very focused on what he's very focused on, but still, that man was a brilliant politician. He didn't just he also stood up for the postmasters as well. Let's not forget that. And
he did
also the chief constable, I think it was, who was investigating of Mr. Ted Heath. He also stood up for him. We're talking about a great man, a man who's got courage of his conviction, and we need to remember him.
Yeah. I'm just looking at some of these. So I'm putting up some of these people talking about purebloods, and there's quite a few here. So, and I remember specifically being told that we would all be dead by now. Do you remember that? We would all be dead.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we would all be dead. That's what we were told.
I think we are sometimes, Jeff.
Thanks for that. Yes. Cool. There's quite a lot here. I'm just looking at this. Yeah. So, yeah. Someone else has said colloidal silver's good stuff as well.
Yeah. Now, my wife, unfortunately, when I met her, she'd already had two. And there's obviously nothing I could do about it, but she didn't have the third. And I've heard that that's the not so good one. Many of you watching this will have had your arm interventions, your cough syrups, and we're not like, oh, ha, 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 you got fooled. No, it's not like that at all, because I totally understand why you did it. This was a very, very big psyop by the government to try and get people to comply with certain regulations. And it was very, very, very sad what they did. I was watching something earlier, and it just brought back everything that happened in 2019, 2020. How ludicrous, how mad was which we went through. But in particular here in Wales and in Scotland wasn't great. England wasn't great either. But they were the crackdown on people just meeting up together. People were being arrested for having a coffee on a park bench. I was like, what? And then we find out Boris Johnson himself admitted that if taking this medical intervention would not stop transmission. Oh, great. Well, that's what you bloody well marketed it as. Something which would stop transmission and stop you killing Granny. That was what you made everyone feel guilty. Absolutely hideous what happened there.
Yeah. Just looking at what am I doing? Oh, here we go. Fat Cat again, thank you. Llandudno makes you feel like you're on holiday.
Oh, do you know what? I had the best holiday of my life in Llandudno. Yeah, well, one of them. Yeah. Well, as a kid, I was 15. And I spent I was from a bit of a dysfunctional family. And I spent a weekend in one of the chalets they had there. I don't know if they still got them on the seafront there. And I decided I was 15 years of age, and I managed to get hold of my father's Carlsberg Special Brew, and and other things I was having a few. We'll just had a few cigarettes and drinking Carlsberg Special Brew, and I was listening to Sinead O'Connor, the Lion on the Cobra album, on headphones on a little cassette recorder. That's my memory. That was the best holiday ever. You don't have holidays like that anymore. Good grief.
No. Who's saying that? Yeah. So I'm just looking through some of the comments. Yeah, there you go. Where is it? It's gone. Yeah, nothing stops transmission except the spacesuit. And this, I remember thinking at the time when I was watching all those MPs. Do you remember going into the House of Commons and all the seats were sealed off with little, those sort of police type tapes, and they had to sit 6 whatever it was apart and all the rest of it. And I was looking at them and I thought, do you know something? If this was really deadly, there would be no one in there. Absolutely no one. No one would ever go and mix in that manner at all in an unventilated place like that. Yeah.
Oh, it was
Anyway,
insane.
there you go.
I remember that police tape being all over the supermarkets in Newport, where I was staying at the time, because my little boy was newborn then. And I remember going around and baby clothes, non-essential, we got as non-essential items. So you couldn't buy baby clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, I do recall baby milk was regarded as a non-essential item. That's how insane the whole thing was in Wales.
Yes.
Absolute lunacy.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I don't know. It's just going mad, isn't it, really? The whole thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, the whole world's gone mad, Jeff.
Yeah. Anyway, we've been going for quite some time now.
We have, actually. Oh, Muttley.
Yeah.
Muttley. What's this we have here? Have a pint on me, lads. Muttley, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Do you know what? That's a good idea. If I could, I would. I'll tell you what I'll have. I'll have a steak on you. All right?
Thanks, Muttley. Yes, have a pint. No, actually, what I'll do is I'll drink the pints for us both, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that, Muttley.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Anyway, I think we've done enough tonight.
One comment here from Avot Smart. Baby milk was non-essential question. What the F? Yeah. What could be more essential than that? Absolutely. It didn't last very long, I don't think that did, when that came in. No. It literally lasted a day or whatever it was, day or two. But that's how completely insane the whole thing went.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, baby clothes. You couldn't buy baby clothes. What, if you've got a newborn baby? I had a newborn baby. Here's the crazy thing. There was 2 wards open in the hospital in Newport where my son was born, right at the height of COVID lockdown, okay? And there was 2 lifts, right? One was for the maternity, for the pregnant mums to go in, okay? To go up to the ward. Right next to it was another lift, which was to go to the COVID ward. So you had people with COVID right next to pregnant mothers. If COVID was, you know what I mean? You know where I'm going to go with this. Absolute insanity. Insanity.
Yeah. I agree.
There we go. Right, Jeff, go on then. You're a bit hungry, I can gather.
Yes, I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for tonight, for watching tonight's 2 old ranters having a rant, and it's been fun. Yeah, we enjoy doing this. This is great.
Yeah.
And so you all look after yourselves, and we'll see you again tomorrow. We'll probably be doing a live stream tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon about 1 o'clock, either 1 o'clock or 6 o'clock. 1 o'clock or 6 o'clock. A video, at least either video or live stream will be going out. So maybe or both, you know. So look, check around, keep checking around the sort of 1:05, 6 mark for us, and you should be able to catch us. So yeah, keep coming back, guys, because we do enjoy this. This is great fun.
Yeah, it's great fun. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah.
Oh, there's a nasty comment. Oh, I love this when you're David Wood. You pair offer nothing. Ah, thank you, David. Thank you. Just we're on a positive roll. Well. Yeah. Ugh.
But I prefer that one. Jeff and Richard never give up.
Absolutely.
I like apples. God bless. And loads more. But thanks very much. Yes.
Yeah. And God bless you, David, whatever, you know, look after yourself, even if you think we have nothing to offer.
Yeah. Good night, lads, and stay safe. And on that note, I will say it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. Goodbye.
Goodbye.